Boys, let me tag everybody and we'll get rolling. Sorry for the late start. I mean, not really my fault. I'm not the one that's not settling their team, but still apologize for kind of lollygagging once the teams got paid. Just trying to update the pick your player and then just got in conversation with a couple people to explain things that we're asking for a player here or there. Or what's the best I can do with this? What's the best I can do with that? I'm trying to get that one filled. How you been, Wayne? I was gonna say I seen you. Can't remember what group you run. It's like the logo's like white, red, and blue, or at least you're an admin in that group. Somebody posted something interesting the other day. I know that's like a completely random thing to say. I can't remember what the name of the group's called right now, though. Look, I can't help it if you're grabbing the wrong teams, okay, Mario? Definitely not intentional to be cold to anybody. Bobby Brown. Even with the pick your player going on, I will post the second half of this case tomorrow. I'll give everybody their, everybody that's in this one, I'll give them first dibs on the second half of the case. Give you guys till about like probably 2 in the afternoon tomorrow to claim the second half if you want it. Kind of like I did. Not that anybody asked. Last time a lot of people asked about it. Not that anybody asked about getting times 2, but if you're getting a half case, you probably want to at least have a chance to get your team in the second half, whether they hit or they don't hit. Just we're going with the half cases to kind of keep the price down a little bit. I'm actually really proud of the group and really thankful for how well the pick your team or the pick your player started out. And I mean, it's still going. I'm sure we'll probably get it close to filled to all the way filled tomorrow. I expected it to take. If it wasn't going to do well after 48 hours, I was just going to pull it and refund and figure out everything else. We got the delight box, but it looks like we're going to definitely get it filled. 4 jumbos. Put these all to the side. We'll still get Cal to rub everything and give a little spiel about how Cal Ripken Jr. Ben Baller card is awesome. I was going to say, he's our good luck charm around here. Give him a nice rub on all 5 of the boxes. For anybody that's doing the new in the group and just getting in their first break, I appreciate you joining. Hope you enjoy yourself. I hope to see you in more breaks. For anybody that's a Pokemon fan and you want any Obsidian Flame, let me know. I have 24 booster boxes coming, 20 ETBs. I have a bunch of sleeved boosters. And in the group, I'm willing to give some really good pre-order prices. I cannot, I'll be honest with you, there is some places that can just price it better than me. I'm not, I don't know how they do it. I was going to say maybe because they're just so big, they've already pre-sold all their stuff way early, so now they can just lose money or break even afterwards just to keep moving product. But nonetheless, we finally have a decent Pokemon allocation. If you're a Magic the Gathering player, I have all that Commander, like, super special stuff that's supposed to come out this week, too. And I'll make a post about that, because I'm willing to sell that probably way less than anybody else, because I really need to move that and the Magic the Gathering, and the Lord of the Rings stuff. But anyways, anyone not familiar with how Jumbo set up 12 packs, 13 cards per pack, get rolling here. Obviously, the Delight Box, we'll go over that whenever it's our temp. Yeah, I'll do it well, the problem is I can't do it if I open the case on camera. I cannot do it before, but I'll mute my mic from now on. How about that? I mean, the no-name rookies, I have already a way that I can make it to where, like, we can always do, like, $1. We can do, like, a mini for, I don't know, let's say there's 5 guys left. We can do, like, a 50-spot mini for $1 a space or something like that. I'm sure there'd be people that would hop in it just so you can have a chance to get a guy for $1. So I don't do anything in the shop, and so the front of the shop is supposed to be getting redone tomorrow. I don't know if it is or isn't. I was gonna say because the guys that made, like, they were supposed to have it done last week and they didn't do it. I will be there. I probably will be there till 4. I will let you know that I'm not sure. I'm not sure all the way up to what break I'll have sorted. If that's what you're looking to do. If you're looking to just check out the shop, like, I'll be there. But if you're looking to grab certain cards, I don't know what break I'll be at sorted. Right now, I'm about to ship out everything that's not Topps Chrome tonight. And I've sorted up to break number 4, the Topps Chrome, and about to throw that and ship it out by Wednesday. I'm actually going to sort more and get probably all the way up to like 7 or 8 shipped out by Wednesday. And then I'll have the rest of everything shipped out before the end of the week. Maybe even sooner than that, so... yeah, I just can't make a promise that they're not gonna. They're supposed to be. So essentially, like, the front steps got cracked or started to crack and have just gotten worse. So they're supposed to build, like, a handicap ramp and redo the awning. And last week on, like, Tuesday or whatever, it rained, so they didn't do it. Then they were supposed to do it Friday, and no one showed up. We have Bryce Harper for the Phillies, Mountcastle, Benintendi, Nelson, Woods, Richardson, and then the property manager told me that she was going to have the guys who were supposed to come tomorrow and at least put up the awning and potentially lay the concrete. So I really don't know. We have Robbie Ray, Suzuki, Zach Wheeler, Tristan Casas, Shea Langeliers, Vladimir Guerrero Jr. I'm getting actually really frustrated with the whole shop in general. We have Kyle Stowers, Shane Bieber, Eaton, Gosman, Alec Boehm, Stroman, Bogarts, Clayton Kershaw, Vladimir Guerrero Jr., Outman, Meneses, Bo Naylor, Byron Buxton, Ruiz, and Story. Not the concept. I'm getting frustrated with the shop because Topps is giving me the runaround about getting a hobby direct account too. So, like, I look like I said before, I look like an asshole. We'll probably, by the time we do the pick your team, and if we finish this case, we'll have broken about 12, 13 cases of Topps Chrome. I have a bunch of Topps Chrome sitting in the shop I can't sell to anybody that walks in. I look like an asshole. And I don't have the space to store it, like, just in the back and have not be up there, because I still have, like, Bowman and whatever else in the back, and a bunch of Pokemon in the back, because when you buy Pokemon, like, they give you those boxes we opened with, like, the figurines, they're, like, huge. Like, I have, like, 7 cases of those just sitting in the back, like, just taking up space. We have Semien, Encarnacion, Senga, Grove, Stevenson. We have Cal Raleigh, Clemens, Libertor, MJ Melendez, Josh Smith, Josh Jung. We have Yosniel Diaz, I was going to say, I was really waiting on 2 people to settle, obviously, which I got to kick Michael Parker out of the group. I gave him one more chance. Like, he not paid on something else after he said he'd sent payment and he didn't, which luckily he hit autograph, so, like, I actually made more money than what his spot was on his cards. But I was like, I'll give the guy another chance. Like, he had just kind of had a newborn when that stuff was going on, so, like, maybe he just got caught up in whatever else. But afterward, I got to kick him out afterward, none with his break. We have Reynolds, Stevenson, Darvish, Ezekiel Tavar, Pujols, Perez, Carlos Correa, Rendon, McCutcheon, Ramirez, Jock Peterson. We have Anthony Volpe on the 13 out of 75 on the Wave Refractor going to Jordan Heller and the Yankees. We have Juan Soto, Ryan McMahon, Alvarez, Downs. Sean Murphy, Morel, Cruz, Cedric Mullins. Peraza, Hall, Anthony Rizzo, Gallen. We have Bogarts, Reese Hoskins, Ian Happ, Haniger, Waldachuk, Otani, Burns, Grisham, Brandon Drury, Abreu, Cal Mitchell, Bello, Garcia, Spencer Torkelson, Yoshida, and CJ Abrams. We have Miranda, Contreras, Hayes, Steer, Musgrove, Bichette, Alcantar, Small, Oscar Gonzalez, Nick Lodolo, Austin Riley, Jordan Diaz, who's actually kind of a sleeper. I'll just say, really good numbers, got hurt. I don't think he would have made a huge difference to like the A's record, but I definitely think they would have had a bright spot in the lineup. Because he hit in the minors, he started hitting the pros, and then got hurt. Going to the Athletics and Angela, we have Ken Waldachuk, Austin Riley, Starling Marte, McCarthy, Alonso, Ward, Altuve, Arozarena, Pasquantino, Bubba Thompson, Freddie Freeman, Rafael Devers, Bryce Harper, and Rafael Devers again. We have Bell, Happ, Luis Robert, Ortiz, Laureano, Trevor Story, Ozzy Albies, Logan Webb, Marquez, Arenado, Tristan Casas, Assad, Austin Riley. I'm definitely going to do another pick your player, probably the same format. McClanahan, Prado, Duran, and we'll probably do it maybe this weekend or after the weekend. Trey Turner, J.J. Bleday, Arrays, Springer, Devers, C.J. Abrams, McMahon. We have Shane Bieber on the 19 out of 99 on the green. We really got to figure out football because that stuff came out and the prices are good. I mean, I don't know what the prices are now because the stuff could have dropped or went up. I'm not sure. But if not, I'm just going to start selling football. I'm just going to start selling the football boxes when they release and not worry about trying to break them, which is also fine with me. We have John Gray, Springer. It's just one of those things we got to figure out if we want to break it or you just want me to just sell it. We have India, Crawford, Blackman, Molina, Brown, Diaz, J.P. Crawford, Chisholm, Sale, Alec Thomas. We have Christopher Morel, Tommy Henry for the Diamondbacks. Yeah, the owner has to sell. I mean, they're moving with the same owner. It's not going to really help that much. Just going to the D-backs and Brad. We have Batty, Aaron Judge, JD Martinez, Schwarber, Velasquez, Paguero, Soto, Tyler Freeman, Castillo, Jimenez, Hernandez, Adley Rutschman. Have Jose Ramirez and Luis Arraez. And that's going to be the first box. You already got the guy you wanted to trade for. You got Fujinami, bro. I'm surprised no Red. We have quite a few Reds fans in the group. I'm surprised none of them took Spencer Steer in that pick your team, to be honest. Too expensive. I'll start running minis or something for the players. I'll figure it out. I mean, I knew it wasn't going to snap fill. There's and even in like some of the groups with like 8,000 people, the pick your teams normally take like 24 to 48 hours to fill when they'll snap fill like a pick your team. The biggest thing about the pick your player 2 is I think it gets a lot more people in the group at least seeing that I break like what type of product I have. Stroman, Bohm, Bogarts, Bryce Harper, which is like half the challenge sometimes because I have the same product as everybody else. We have Mountcastle, Scherzer, Mike Trout, Yelich. That's like bigger than me. I have the same product. We have Jimenez, Yastrzemski, Ezekiel Tovar, James Outman on the Prism, Salvador Perez, Senga, Grove, Stevenson, Eaton, Gosman, Tristan Casas, Shea Langeliers, Henderson, LeMahieu, Varsho. We have Ohtani in the Technicolor, Anthony Volpe on the Prism Refractor, and Swanson. We're going to have Ezekiel Tovar, Pujols, Perez, Semien, Encarnacion, Meneses, Bo Naylor, Ray, Suzuki, Wheeler, Alex Bregman, Encarnacion. There is way more Reds fans in here than that, Mario. They just don't like... There's a guy, Kyle Wellman. Huge Reds fan, lives in California. Awesome dude that's in the group. And he just went... Like, he decided one day that he just wants to collect vintage. And doesn't want to do... I guarantee with Elly De La Cruz next year, he'll be back. Like I think Elly De La Cruz will bring him back into, like, the Reds, like, realm of, like, collecting modern in the sense of, like, he'll have his rookie card next year. Albert Pujols, Murphy, Cruz, Stevenson, Darvish, Melendez, Josh Smith. But for right now, he took a break to just collect like vintage like Johnny Bench and whoever else from the Reds. Kershaw, Guerrero Jr., James Outman. We have Brandon Lowe on the Fuchsia Sparkle. But him, Matt Freeman's a Reds fan that lives in Baltimore. We get more top loaders. Yeah, no, I mean, I think he was... I think she said Yoshida was kind of... Well, he's pulled a couple Yoshidas. I know Gabe Quezada is a big Red Sox fan and try to get Yoshida. Yoshida's like that iffy one. His price is all over the place. It's just like Francisco Alvarez. They're both worth a lot of money if you're patient. But if you want to quick sell them, you can sell them for a lower price and someone will buy them because they're like fan favorites. I don't know if it's a save money thing for Kyle. I think it's just his interest in the hobby changed some. Which happens. Say Brandon Lau. I mean, everyone's financial situation changes too, especially with how the economy is. So, could have some tie to that. I really don't know. I just know he said he's going to collect more vintage. Clayton Kershaw, Oswaldo Cabrera. I think you guys will see a lot of different people too with the me grading. Corbin Burns, Ohtani, Grisham, Alvarez, Downs, Peterson, Raleigh, Clemens, Liberatore. Oh, baby. We have a 2022 MVP buyback, the first one of Goldie, 189 out of 199 on the refractor. It's pretty sick. You talking about Scarberry? Scarberry is one of the best hobbyists and one of the nicest dudes you'll ever meet for somebody that's in the position that Tom is. There's a lot of guys like that are Tom that have the influence to completely change a break or a group that are just absolute assholes, and he's not that. Him and another guy, there's another guy in Best Card Breaks that actually probably helped build that group named Trey Blanchard. That's going to the Cardinals and Allen. So nice hit there, Allen. And he's actually one of the nicest dudes, too. Like Kyle Tucker, Vladimir Guerrero Jr., Tavar. There's a lot of guys like that. But what I'm trying to say is, like, Tom could be a real dick, too. Like, when he doesn't get his team. Like, he obviously, him and Boomer are going back and forth, busting each other's balls about the Steelers. But Hayes, Steer, Musgrove, Cron, Haniger, Gallen, Correa, Rendon, McCutcheon, Ramirez, Michael Harris II, Groshans, and Kyle Stowers. I don't know how else to explain it. Like, just not greedy. Like, a lot of people that can be really greedy, when, especially when they buy the more, not even that. You guys are in the hobby, so you guys understand how people can be dickheads, especially when it comes to, like, big cards or, like, randoms or whatever else. We have Jake McCarthy, Alonzo, Ward, Miranda. There's not that in this group because I just wouldn't let it happen. I tell you to go kick rocks because I don't care. Contreras. Like, if you're going to act like an asshole, you can go be an asshole somewhere else. We have Mullins, Peraza, DL Hall, Anthony Rizzo. We're going to have Nolan Gorman. And we have an Ezekiel Tavar for the Rockies. 70 out of 199 on the Aqua Wave. Going to Eric Schultz. But we have you, Darvish. It probably was. Robbie's always in there trying to harass them dudes. Luis Robert. Robbie's in here right now. He's just back there lurking, trying to probably losing in mini seasons on MLB The Show, trying to get Griffey. We have Ortiz, Laureano, Riley, Marte, Lodolo, Drury, Abreu, Cal Mitchell. Bello, we have Paul Goldschmidt. I'll be honest with you, Topps Chrome is killing my MLB. Breakins is killing my MLB The Show game in general. We have Titans, Assad. I don't care. I'll just say I love playing video games, but I'd rather do this than play video games. We have JJ Bleday, Mackenzie Gore, Green, Bell, Freddie Freeman, Bo Bichette, Sandy Alcantara, Ethan Small, Colas, George Springer, Clayton Kershaw, Stevenson, Yadier Molina, Brown, McClanahan, Prado, Duran, Arenado, Altuve, Arozarena, Pasquantino, and Bubba Thompson. We have a negative Mackenzie Gore, Matt Chapman, Hoskins, Velasquez, Paguero, India, Crawford, Blackman, McMahon, Story, Albies, Webb, Marquez, Riley Green, and we got a Corey Lee. Please tell me that nope. Oh, Jeff's in this one. Jeff, we finally got you an autograph, but I was like, please tell me Jeff's in this break. I know they traded Corey Lee away and you're not on the Corey Lee train, but at least we broke the slump. And we didn't even need to find you a slump buster. If you didn't play sports, you might not know what a slump buster is. I can't say it on YouTube or Facebook because I'll probably get banned for body shaming or some shit, but I was going to say, we have O'Neal Cruz. If you know, you know. If you don't, well, you can DM if you're really, really curious. But either way, nice hit finally for Jeff. We have Edwin Diaz, Fried, Aaron Judge, JD Martinez, Schwarber, Thomas, Arrays, Springer, Devers, Abrams, Royce Lewis, Alvarez, and a nice Jordan Walker on the refractor. I said, well, if you quit before the extreme stuff came out, pretty much there's a Griffey that's a 99 overall Griffey that's just absolutely nasty. But I don't even know when Madden comes out. Madden's another game, like, if you don't play enough, you can't keep up with it. Madden's a game where, like, once you fall behind, like, you might as well not even play anymore. Prices for Topps Chrome will probably go down. Let's see, when was it released? The 26th? We still got a ways. It's probably going to be another, like, 2.5, 3 weeks before the Topps Chrome prices went down. So, essentially, they had a town hall meeting. And obviously, you guys seen, I kind of explained it, where they said, oh, if you have a direct hobby account, you have to sell this stuff in your store. You can't break anymore. You can't sell it on DealerNet. You can't sell it online without permission, etc. Right? So So when they put out those rules and regulations, whatever, which I don't have to follow when it comes in store. I mean, the break account stuff's different. That's for their Hobby Direct store, which is the thing I'm complaining about that I don't have. So essentially they had a town hall and there was a lot of kickback and like revolting. Not really revolting, because what are they gonna do? Like Topps is Fanatics is your supplier. They would have held strong. Like they're gonna be like, oh, I'm not gonna sell baseball cards. Like stop lying. Like you're still gonna sell baseball cards. Like you're a liar. Either way, they backed off about the breaking, but they did not back off about selling on DealerNet or online. So the reason the prices have gone up, besides the national, is there's no secondary market between like DealerNet's like a store to store, like dealer to dealer. It's DealerNet's like dealer to dealer, right? There's no network now for like other stores to sell to other stores, and your name's on the account. So like if you sell to another store, like literally Topps can go on there and be like, oh, like Charm City cards or Charm City, let's say Charm City Collectibles, me sold to, I don't know, underground case breaks. He sold a case of Chrome. Like he's not allowed to do that. We're gonna pull his account. So like there's no cards on DealerNet, or if there is, they're expensive because it's like people that got them from distributors. We have Tovar, Pujols, Perez, Semien, Encarnacion. I actually really like the rules that they had, where like if you have a direct hobby store account, you can only sell in the store. Because if you think about it, they want to make the hobby shops like it was back in the 90s and the 80s, where people come into the hobby shop, they hang out, they come in and they buy cards, and that's like the source. That's the place you go get your cards at if there's one near you, your local collectibles store or your local card shop. Compared to now, everyone just buys shit on the internet, and they expect everyone to be like Amazon delivery too, which is Amazon. Like I don't think people realize how big the logistics network of Amazon is. We have Cody Clemens, Libertor, MJ Melendez, Josh Smith, Kershaw. It's not that bad, but you know what I'm saying. We have Luis Castillo, Miguel Vargas, Cody Bellinger. Now Topps is a little bit slow on their shipping in general. We have Sean Murphy, Morel, Cruz, Stevenson, Yu Darvish, Rendon, McCutcheon, Ramirez, Jock Peterson, Raleigh, Freddie Freeman, Chris Bryant, and Eloy Jimenez. Like Fanatics has the right idea of they're trying to like push people into the LCS and stuff. Well, they're trying to get it into where people have to go into the store more is what they're trying to do. They're just trying to figure out a way to do it. Shohei Ohtani. It didn't help that COVID, Burns, Grisham, Alvarez, Downs, Oswald Peraza, DL Hall. It didn't help either that COVID kind of switched people's mentality of like physically going and interacting with people. Rizzo, Gallen, Correa, Miguel Cabrera. We have a Jeter Downs for the Red Sox. Going to Mario. Well, that's also the problem too, right? Is there's like no standard. So, I mean, some of you guys live in the area, but the shop that I have is not big. I didn't have a big shop because like Topps always kind of gave me the runaround of like, oh, like you need to have a shop to have an account, but like we're not sure if we're going to give you an account. So I didn't want to like lock into a huge rent. Corey Seager, Cabrian Hayes, Spencer Steer, Musgrove, Cron, Haniger. Jose Abreu, Mitchell, Bello, Garcia, Mullins. We have James Outman. 196 out of 199 on the Aqua Lava. And then I was having a really hard time getting Pokemon until I actually met Rob Gonzalez, who actually I think he hit one of you guys up saying that he would sell somebody something that's in the group. Oh, I think he hit up Chet about something, but about hockey stuff. We have Bo Bichette and Luis Castillo. Chet Stedman. We have Jake McCarthy, Alonzo, Ward, Miranda, Contreras, Alcantara, Small, Oscar Colas. But essentially, he talked to a Peach State, like one of the guys that's like not my account, like the guy that's the boss of the guy that has my account for like the Pokemon stuff. Ladolo, Jury, Ezekiel Tovar. Like I wasn't getting enough product at all from GTS or Peach State to like have a store and break. We have Gabriel Moreno, Kyle Tucker, So, like, I don't know how you want someone to successfully open a store if you don't give them any product to sell. We have Luis Robert, Ortiz, Laureano, Riley, Marte, Randy Arozarena, Pasquantino, Thompson, Freeman, Bichette, Alec Thomas, Michael Conforto, and Tyler Freeman. But there is some store. There's another store, probably 2 stores that are like an absolute like disaster. He crosses the name out right. Yoshida, Turner, J.J. Bleday, Gore, Green, Bell, Albies, Webb. Well, it was hard for a while during COVID because Pokemon like blew up again, but now it's back to normal. Marquez, Arenado, Altuve, Bregman. We have Jason Alexander for the Brewers, which is a 55 out of 199. Just get a liquor license. Good luck. Liquor licenses aren't easy to get in Maryland either. For the Brewers, 55 out of 199 going to Greg Wisser on the Aqua Wave. The back end of the sports card world is just unique. We have Rosario, Molina, Hunter Brown, McClanahan, Prado, Durant, Springer, Devers, Abrams, McMahon, Story, Technicolor Gunnar Henderson, Clayton Kershaw, and Juan Soto. Velasquez, Paguero, India, Crawford, Blackman, Crawford, Chisholm, Sale, Alec Thomas, Arrays, Kyle Tucker, Mookie Betts, David VR. We have Edwin Diaz, Freed, Judge, Martinez, Schwarber, Freeman, Castillo, Jimenez, Hernandez, Alexis Diaz, Shea Langeliers for the A's. So essentially, where I'm at right now, going to Angela and the A's on the Shea Langeliers, purple out of 250, Shane Bieber, and then Carlos Perez. So essentially, I started it with an account at Peach State Hobby, like their sports division. Cole, Rutschman, DeGrom, Stefanik, Harris II, Drew Rasmussen, Verlander, Wander Franco, Perez, Soto, Nolan Gorman, Steele Walker for the Tigers. And the way that it works at Peach State is they take your account and they take how long you've had your account for and how much you spend. So it's the same thing with Pokemon, but in Pokemon, if you spend a lot, or Pokemon, in any TCG, if you spend a lot, it's a lot easier to get allocation because not a lot of stores spend a lot of money, right? Like, even for Pokemon, I'll go spend like $2,500 a week, not a week, like probably $1,000 to $1,200 a week. Even though I have a lot of stuff and I'm not moving a lot of it right now, when the store opens, like having Crown Zenith is a good product. It has good hits. Like the pictures are good. Anybody that collects Pokemon can attest that the Crown Zenith card set is a good set. We have Nolan Jones, Sosa, Machado, Anderson, Smith, Jigba, Realmuto, Lindor, Kwan, Torkelson, Gorman, Pena, Melendez, Trout, and Wander Franco. So essentially, I just have been like building up the account like price-wise. So it's pretty much even for sports. It's how much you spend, but in sports, it's every single sport, just like it's in Pokemon or Magic. It's all of everything combined. So let's say you spend a lot of money on baseball, you can get football allocation. But I mean, obviously, if you're a big basketball and football guy, those boxes cost more money, so your money spent is going to be higher than baseball. Like, I could do double the amount of baseball that a guy that does basketball, and he's actually probably going to have more spend than I do because there's no, like, National Treasure. There's no Prism. There's no Dunruss Optic where, like, those boxes, like a Dunruss football box of Optic sells for, in 2021, was selling for almost $1,000 a box. If you can open 2 cases of that, I have to open 4 or 5 cases of Topps Chrome Jumbos to match spend. So it's one of those things where, like, what happens is they're very, like, Peach State is very heavy to the people that can break basketball and football, which also makes sense because the way it works is, like, they give you a list to buy from, like a secondary list, and it'll be like, let's say, I'll just use the example of like Topps Chrome since we're breaking it right now. There's a base Corbin Carroll, by the way. Let's say right now, I think Topps Chrome is selling for, almost $400. I think is where the jumbos have gone up to. So let's say that it's just $400 for a round number. Peach State will sell you a box for $385. So it leaves you $15 of profit if you're just going to sell it. Now if you break it, obviously you can make like maybe $100 from between you charge like whatever. You bake into the price a little bit to make yourself a little bit money for breaking it, sorting it, shipping it. People take a couple teams together, like you might make a few bucks, right? But in general, you're supposed to buy that at $385 over and over and over again. So then eventually, hopefully, that you can get the allocation of what the box is allocated the next year or later in the year. But the problem is at Peach State, to even have a chance to get a decent allocation on all the products. Not just like, oh, like every once in a while they'll hit me up and be like, hey, we have like Series 1 baseball if you want a couple jumbo cases. Mostly because they can't move that as much as they get, right? It's not because they're being nice or that I spent a bunch of money or whatever else, in the sense of like they're doing it because they need to move. It's because they need to move that much product, otherwise it's going to sit around in their warehouse, right? So like you can get some stuff allocated for a decent spend, but like if you're not if you didn't spend at least $1 million with them, like you're not getting any decent allocations. Which in like it's a lot of money. I mean, it's a lot of money. I was gonna say we have Jacob deGrom, Michael Stefanik. So Michael Harris II, Edwin Diaz, Fried, Jeremy Pena, Rasmussen, Verlander. So that's where I started was Peach State. I'll explain why Fanatics probably will not cut out at least Southern Hobby, but I'll explain that in a second. So that's how Peach State works, right? So then I eventually got an account with GTS, Carlos Perez, Aaron Judge, and we have Jordan Walker on the Prism Refractor with Ronald Acuna on the refractor behind him. The way GTS works is if you spend so much money on whatever the sport is, so like let's say you spend a lot of money on football, they give you football allocation. If you spend a lot of money on baseball, they give you baseball allocation. So I get the GTS count last year before the National, like 2 months before, start to spend like as much money as I can. I was buying like Bowman or whatever else, and I was like, I really wasn't breaking it. Like I wasn't like keeping up with the amount that I was spending to break it. I took like a lot of my own money and was just like, not company money, like money from like my government job, and was like, I'm just gonna throw money at GTS and get a nice baseball allocation because that's really what I break. That's what I enjoy breaking the most. I'd love to break football because, I mean, I really enjoy football. I know a lot about football, but in general, baseball, right? We have Anderson, Smith, Jigba, Realmuto, Adley Rutschman, Garrett Cole, Joe Ryan, Francisco Lindor, Kwan, Torkelson, Gorman, O'Hoppe, Michael Massey, and Alec Thomas. So they allocate stuff, or at least before Fanatics took over, Topps would allocate stuff like 6 months in advance. So you really had to wait like 6 months after you got your account to even have a chance for allocation. So I spend all this money thinking like, oh, I'm going to get it. And like by Christmas time, around Bowman Draft, I'll probably maybe get like a case of Bowman Draft, which will be nice allocated, or whatever else. I get back from the National, and the Topps announces that they're cutting GTS off. So like I spent all this money baseball that like I'm never going to get like any like reward back from. So then I'm like sitting there like I found a guy in Ohio that was just like selling me stuff for cheaper if I bought it, like cases of it at a time, whether it was football. But I had to buy like football, basketball, and baseball. Like I had to buy everything, and then he'd give me like maybe like a couple boxes allocated, and the rest would be like full retail cost. Bryce Terrain, Joey Votto, Longoria, Sosa, Machado, Abisail Garcia, Fujinami, Meyer, Alex Call, Marte, Jose Ramirez, Jeremy Palacios. So I call this going to the Tigers and Bobby Brown. So I was talking to GTS, and I was trying to figure out how to get this was already, I had like the lease for the store. I was like renovating the store at the time when I got the GTS account. We have Royce Lewis, Lowe, Massey, Gray, Masataka Yoshida, Ruiz, Julio Rodriguez, Cabrera, Herrera, Witt Jr., Josh Jung, and Jose Altuve, 149 out of 399 on the fuchsia. So I was talking to my rep at GTS, and I said, "Hey man, like who do I need to talk to at Topps about a direct hobby direct account? Like, I call Topps, they give me an email to like email this random thing, and nobody ever emails me back. Like, who's the guy I need to just go and talk to?" And he gave me the email to Kevin O'Neill. Which you can email Kevin O'Neill all you want now for Topps. He's not at Topps anymore. He went to Southern Hobby, which is why I don't think Topps is going to cut out Southern Hobby. I think they're actually going to make Southern Hobby the main distributor. They're going to help use Southern Hobbies like a main distributor to help with stuff, especially football and basketball. We have Chris Sale, Ronald Acuna Jr. tight behind that. Reynolds, Bieber, Conforto, Brian Alvarez, Mark Vientos, Logan O'Hoppe, Byron Buxton. So I talked to Kevin O'Neill, Castellanos, Gonzalez. We have Gabriel Moreno, Garrett Mitchell. We have Corbin Carroll on the refractor. And I talked to Kevin. We have a conversation. He says, hey, here's what I need you to do. I need you to be open for a year. He's like, and then about 3 months before you're open for a year, technically, like, or at least have the lease for a year, he said. You don't necessarily have to be open if you're, like, renovating. But you need to be able to show me that you spent at least $20,000 in a year on baseball product, which I was doing that at that point in time in a month, so, like, wasn't a big deal, right? Corbin Carroll, Royce Lewis, Acuna Jr., Batty, Hayes, Stowers, Cabrera, Dansby Swanson, Stanton, Olson, Witt Jr., Brandon Lowe, Jazz Chisholm. So right before the Topps conference, I email Kevin back and say, hey man, like the year's coming up, like it'll be May. What can we do? Like how can I get an account and get the store thing going? That way, like when the year hits, like we'll be just rolling and I can just roll right into having the store account. It'll be great. It'll be like right around Bowman time, so maybe I'll get Bowman, maybe I won't, but whatever. Like it'll be before Topps Chrome and stuff comes out, so that's good. Corey Seager, Cody Bellinger, Chapman, Grosh Hands, Volpe. So I talked to Kevin. He says to email Keith, who's like the guy that handles all the Hobby Direct store stuff. Cavalli, Garrett Mitchell, Walker, Assad, Reese Hoskins, Pete Alonso, Matt Wallner on the 209 out of 499 of the Twins, and Austin Fishbach getting that Wallner rainbow going. So talk to Kevin at Topps. Or talk to Kevin. He gave me to Keith. Hit up Keith. Obviously, this is like 2 weeks. I'm not obviously, you guys don't know the timeline really, truly, but it's about 2 weeks before the Topps yearly convention or conference. It's a conference. It's not a convention. 2 years before the conference down in the Chase Field for Arizona Diamondbacks. Volpe on the refractor there. We have Taglia, Jones, VR, Rosario, Tucker, Baez, O'Neill, Betts, Moreno, Vargas, Michael Harris is second. We have Adley Rutschman and J.P. Crawford. So I go and talk to Keith down at the Topps thing after we email back and forth, and he's like, yeah, man, he's like, you're in before all the people down here that just talked to me down here. So he's like, we should easily have your account up by like April. Tatis Jr., Waters, Manoah, Bregman, Aranda, at least get you into like the credit team or whatever else. And Jimenez, Yastrzemski, Riley Green, Paul Goldschmidt, another Riley Green on the ultraviolet. And the Riley Green is green on the 50 out of 99 going to the Tigers. And Bobby Brown. Nice ultraviolet there. So Keith is like, yeah, man, we'll set you up by April. It's like, he's like, I got all your pictures. Everything looks good. Blah, 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 blah. I said, all right, cool. So then I'm supposed to be down there. I'm supposed to meet with the Fanatics memorabilia guy. They have like a whole memorabilia division. They're really going to try to push memorabilia at some point in time. They haven't really tried to like force it or push it on anybody yet, but I bet you with Fanatics Live, they try to push it a little bit more. We have Oswald Peraza. I'm waiting. Cade Cavalli for this guy to show up. Like, he just blows me off for a meeting we have set that I talked to him about like 2 hours before that I'm supposed to meet with this guy. He's supposed to meet me in the front of Chase Field. Just like, and then he walks past. Like, I know who the guy is, so he like kind of walks past me and just kind of forgets about it. He's like talking to somebody else. We have Benintendi, Nelson, Woods Richardson, Walsh, Adames, LeMahieu, Varsho, Scherzer, Trout, Yelich, Joey Votto for the Reds. 20 out of 299 on the Purple Sparkle. So while I'm down there, I hear about this break program that they're doing. And I'm like, how do I get in that? Because that's really what I want to be in. Like, I'm going to always keep the shop, like, or at least try to keep the shop if it can be successful on Pokemon and Magic, even if I can't really sell a lot of sports cards in there. We have Yordan Alvarez and Alexis Diaz. I mean, eventually they're going to give me an account. But, like, I might have to like keep beating down that door over and over again. Who knows what's going to happen? Alec Boehm, Stroman, Bogarts, Harper, Mountcastle. So I go and I see a guy, I don't know if you guys are familiar with him at all. He really breaks on YouTube. His name's Mikey B. It's Mikey B Cards on YouTube. So I see him and I go, hey, Mikey, Wheeler. I was like, who are you waiting on? I was like, there's nobody in here anymore. He's like, I'm waiting on a break guy. What do you mean a break guy? He's like, yeah, man. Because at first, Mikey doesn't know who I am. like me and Mikey have talked before, but I always like my name on YouTube's Hopeful Chewbacca, so he doesn't know who I am. So I go to him, I'm like, hey man, like why are you sitting here? Like we had talked in the beginning, he just didn't put like our conversation together from like the first day of the convention. Langley's, because we were actually in line together waiting to get like the free Oakleys and the other grab bag stuff they handed out. Henderson, Paul Goldschmidt, Brian Bello, 204 out of 250. Mario spoke too soon. No faith in me, thanks. I was gonna say on the True Purple. So talking to Mikey B, and he's like, yeah. So he stands up to me, he's like, hey, he says, hey, Paul, like, how are you doing? I said, I'm not Paul. I was like, I'm Joey. Like, we talked in the beginning of the thing. I was like, I was just wondering what you were doing because, like, no one's here anymore. I was like, I was waiting for the memorabilia guy. I seen him walk past. I was like, do you know if Kevin or Keith is still here? Because I want to talk to them about, like, what the guy's name and email is so I can email him when I get back. Because Kevin's not was never the best at answering his email, and Keith doesn't really answer his email either. And he's like, nah, man, but he's like, I'm still waiting on Paul. I was like, and we started talking about, like, the break program. We have Chapman, Senga, Grove, Stevenson, and I didn't think it really existed, or it was just some, like, made-up thing. Eaton Gosman, Guerrero Jr., Outman, Meneses, Bo Naylor, Robbie Ray, Julio Rodriguez, Max Scherzer, and Teoscar Hernandez. So then I started to talk to Brad Ross from Underground Card Breaks. We're in the airport waiting for our flights to get in because we just happened to be in this, well, me and Brad are friends. We happened to be in the same part of the airport where our flights were at. And he talked about it too. So we're sitting there talking about it, and he had already applied or whatever. And he mentioned the same Paul guy. So I went to Kevin and said, hey, Kevin, like, I heard there's a break program. Like, most of my business is actually breaking compared to, like, operating a card store. Like, how do you get in the program? So he forwarded me to Paul. I had an interview with Paul. And I guess Paul's family is like a military background, so we found out I was in the Air Force for 7 years, and kind of like I don't know if he pushed me to the front of the line or what happened, but he put me in the pilot program for breaking. So to answer your question, Chris, if you're still in here and listen to the whole thing, right now I get all of my baseball product directly from Topps in the break program, which is why I have the Delight boxes or the Delight cases, because you can't get the Delight stuff unless you're in the breaker program. And it was like super hush hush, but it's not anymore. So I mean, I don't think it was ever hush-hush. I just think people didn't want other people to know about it, because why would you want somebody else to know about it if you're getting all the good product and nobody else is? But that's how the industry's set up, right? Nobody ever wants to help anybody else out. It's terrible. We got Brett Batty on the Youthquake. It could be a red. It is a red. Are these Youthquakes selling well? Because I'm pretty sure they're only in the Delight box. This is going to Chuck. Like, I haven't looked at the prices of Youthquake. I'm going to have to look them up. So, like, this year, I don't know if they'll do the same thing they did with Ben Baller. I understand everybody's competing. But the point is if you don't pick other people up in the industry eventually falls apart because you don't have enough people to keep the industry uplifted, if that makes sense. Like, there has to be small people, there has to be medium people, and there has to be big people, that the industry falls apart. Because if there's only big people, like, if you go to, like, real breaks, and you can't get in their breaks all the time because you can't figure out how to get in their breaks, or you always get beat out for your team, you're just going to be like, fuck this, I'm not going to collect cards anymore. Like, we have Hunter Brown, Shane McClanahan, Nick Pratto, Alex Call, Joe Ryan, Ketel Marte. Like, you've never seen me. There's like one or two breakers I really don't like. But other than that, you guys never see me really knock another breaker and be like, that dude's terrible, or stay away from him, or whatever else. Because 5 out of 5, Stephen Kwan to the Guardians. And Justice. I don't think Fanatics is going to actually make it worse. I think they're going to expand their break program and offer more product to more people. I think I'm the biggest negative Nancy when it comes to Fanatics. Like, I didn't like them taking over and all this other stuff, but I'm going to give them a chance, because talking to the people that I talk to on a regular basis for my account, they seem that they have the right idea in their mind. Whether or not they execute it the way that they want to is another story, because you can have a good idea and not execute it properly. We have Fuchsia Ken Waldichuk. We have 182 out of 399. They also have to get rid of the old decrepit dudes. And I mean, I'll be honest with you, with my shop, I've not been much better than some of these old decrepit dudes. Is like Right now, I don't have the most consistent hours, but really I'm waiting for the whole shop to be fixed up in the sense what I really want is the space next door to finally be mine because I'm supposed to have that space next door so I can have like a Pokemon arena type thing so people can open cards there and it be more of a hangout. But in general, oh, nice. Gabriel Moreno on the SSP going to the Diamondbacks and Brad. But then you get rid of the old guys that just like don't want to adjust to the hobby at all. Like the hobby's changing. If you don't want to, like, you can't be like anti-breaks or whatever else. Like breaking's not going away at this point. Like just give into the concept. You don't have to break, but don't be trying to say that everything wrong with the hobby is the breaker's fault. Cal Stevenson for the Athletics. Because all that money they made during COVID, there is no way there is no way that those shops that like struggled for years and years and years would have made anywhere near the money they did without breakers during COVID. And then we're going to have Drew Waters on the base autograph. This is the first time we've had base autographs, 2 base autographs in the Delight box. I'll let it slide because I know the short or the SSP Moreno and the Youthquake Quan are both big hits, but Drew Waters to the Royals and Jonathan Oakley in his first break. So congrats, Jonathan, for your first hit in the group. I hope you enjoyed yourself if you did watch it in the background. Yeah, Fanatics will grow the hobby. It's just like they need to make sure. And the thing is like I obviously went to the Topps thing, and it's really hard to portray the Topps conference, and it's really hard to portray like what they said in the sense of like you'll try to explain something to somebody, and in a Facebook group they're like, "That's not how it works," and I'm like, "Okay, buddy, that's not exactly. You're right. That's not exactly how it's going to work. That's not exactly what they said." That box was a Topps Chrome Delight box that you can only get if you're in the break program for Topps. So the prices have raised. I will give you that. But if you think about it, the prices didn't rise for They didn't rise for the initial price. We have Ken Waldachuk on the Athletics, Brett Batty on the Youthquake, James Outman on the Aqua Lava, Joey Votto on the Purple Sparkle, Altuve on the Fuchsia, Langley's on the Purple, Bieber on the Green, the Negative Gore, and the Fuchsia Sparkle Low. So the obviously the prices did go up some, but there's probably 3 big reasons the prices did go up some. And I know they took away autographs and they made like in the boxes. So with Topps Chrome, it's not like a great argument or example. What I'm gonna say is my argument kind of falls short for Topps Chrome because there is less in it and it's about the same price it was last year. Now they didn't make it a little bit less when it came out. But I think in a little bit you have to factor in the fact that the rookie class is so good because any product, even in football, like people are not bitching about football boxes being high this year because they're lower than they were the year before. But the rookie class in football is significantly worse. And I mean, I'm a huge Steelers fan, so I think Kenny Pickett's going to be an absolute monster. I think they might win a Super Bowl with the kid. We have the MVP buyback, Goldschmidt out of 199. We're going to have Anthony Volpe on the Wave Refractor. Stephen Kwan on the red, 5 out of 5. We have Gabriel Moreno on the SSP and Riley Green on the green Ultraviolet. So we have to factor in the rookie class a little bit in the price of the product. The rookie class was terrible. The product might be less like it was last year, like even more less than it was. It might not went up in price. I'm not saying that's a great excuse because they did take out autographs and whatever else. I mean, it was last year. The boxes when they came out, they were $350 for 5 autographs with a much worse rookie class. Is what they came out as. Was what was on Topps website was they were $350. I'm 95% sure. I could go back and look at the archives, but I'm pretty sure that's what they were, right? Which is at a great price for Jumbo to start out. Probably not, but I know that the hobby was at $200 with 2 autographs. So that's what they're at right now is $200 with 1 autograph with a better rookie class. I'd say the cards themselves are better, but the rookie class was way better, right? Like J-Rod and well, they weren't. They ended up not even being in the boxes. But let's say that J-Rod and Bobby Witt and who was the other guy supposed to be? C.J. Abrams, right? And two other guys. I can't remember the other two, but Torkelson. And then I don't remember. The fifth guy was a pitcher. But let's say just even J-Rod and Bobby Witt, right? If they would have been in the boxes, yeah, it would have been significant in the sense of like they would have been big chases. But they weren't in the main like set. There was no. No, Brad, I agree. We have Corey Lee, Jordan Diaz, Drew Waters. Oh, yeah, that's right. Hunter Green. Cal Stevenson, Encarnacion, Jeter Downs, Palacios, Walker, Henry. Where you have Diaz for the Orioles out of 150, Alexander out of 199, Warner out of 499, Tavar out of 199 on the Aqua Wave, and Brian Bello on the True Purple going to the Red Sox. A pretty decent break here. I said it could have been a little bit better. The autographs actually had some pretty good color and some players that are good. It's just to get a couple of pitchers there was hurt a little bit. And Diaz just never really panned into the player he's supposed to be. From the Dodgers to the from the Orioles to the Dodgers back to the Orioles. I was going to say I can't remember who was trading in between there, but they did get rid of autographs, and I do agree that that's a little bit problematic, right? But they did cut down on the quality of autographs are much better this year. There's not as many pitchers, but that's to do with the rookie class too, right? Like there's not a lot of pitchers in the rookie class in general. Yeah, they didn't include all the middle relievers, and it's not like they included a guy like they have Grayson Rodriguez autographs because he'll be an update, but he's not like an SSP, right? He's not a short print. He's just in the set. Oh, yeah, that is right. Yeah, he was part of the Machado trade, and now he's back with the Dodgers. Sorry, I thought it was the other way around. But, what was I going to say? The goal was to try to keep the price down. They can't control the rookie class. They can't control if the market dictates that the price should go up, right? They can't be like David Adams. You got to, like, it's not legal for them to be like, all right, David Adams, we can set your price at $350 and you cannot go above $350 or we're pulling your license. Like, that's not legal in the United States. It's against pretty much free market economics, right? So that's part of the reason the price went up. Another part of the reason why the price went up is inflation. Whether people want to say we're in a recession or there's not inflation or whatever else, inflation is definitely a thing. I think everybody can at least agree to some extent that there's inflation. But that has something to do with in the sense of like the diesel fuel's more expensive, the paper's more expensive, employees are more expensive, like all that stuff factors into making the cards. Now, could they use as an excuse to make it much higher than it should be? Of course they can. I'm not saying they didn't. I'm not saying what the prices are even right. I'm just saying these are going to be the factors that they... the taco card, I mean... the taco fractor was a fun card to pull, but I wish it would have been... a much better... I wish it would have been a much better card than what it ended up being. If that makes sense. Like I wish we would have pulled like at least a superstar. Like Rosario's not Rosario's not even an all-star. Like I mean Rosario's like a glue guy. He's like a Dennis Rodman of a baseball team. Like you need that guy on your team that can kind of play everywhere. That's like an above average hitter. Like you need that Chris Taylor, the Rosarios, the Ahmad Rosario, the other Rosario, Ahmad Rosario can play a bunch of all over the infield, can play some outfield if you really need him to. I think he's like 1 or 2 games in the corners in his career. Like those guys are glue guys. Who's another guy that was really good at that? Ian Happ can play all over the place, but the dude that played for the Rays that like invented the utility position, that played mostly second base, but he really played all over the field. He could play shortstop. Man, I can see his face, but I cannot think of his name right now. But either way, like Rosario is a guy that's a glue guy, but he's not a superstar. In general, though, with the whole boxes, I think they did Topps Chrome well in the sense of like they made it very appealing for the product. If the product came out brand new the way that it is, everyone would be like, oh, this is the best product ever. But because you have a comparison of more autographs in the past, that's like the only knock you have on Topps Chrome this year. Yeah, Terry bought 11 boxes. Terry just messaged me asking if I had a jumbo case he could buy. Which, I mean, depending on what the price is, I can order an extra one from Topps right now if it shouldn't have switched over time-wise. So Topps only gave me like so much credit limit. So like the bill's not due for anything, but because I bought so much stuff, um, I keep hitting the credit limit. So like they put a hold on my account last week. So they wouldn't let me order the jumbos that were sitting in my account until this morning. Whenever they got like the $20,000 I sent them. So the big thing too is like a lot of people like when people ask me like and I'll go ahead this real quick about breaking. Yeah, there's no more personals for 150. That was the case. And that was that. I was gonna say the price went up and I have to pay more than 150 to get like the two jumbo cases I just ordered. I paid more than 150 a box for them. So that's the thing too. So that's the only thing. That's the only thing about the breaker program is the price doesn't stay at the same allocated price either. It goes up based on the market. So if the market goes up, I got to pay more for the boxes, kind of like a distributor. But at least they give me some profit margin. But honestly, this is the first time in over 2 years that I have like had the ability to make money doing this in the sense of like I've literally put a lot of money into it. And I was pretty much always just breaking even. Like I was just pretty much just staying afloat. I wouldn't even say staying afloat. Like definitely not in debt's not the right word. Like there's no chance of like, oh my god, I gotta declare bankruptcy or whatever else. Like nowhere near that, right? I mean, I also make a lot of money in IT or whatever else. In my government job that I work because I work in cybersecurity and IT, and I have like 2 masters or whatever else. But what was I saying? But like people don't understand the struggle. Like a lot of reasons why the breakers are the way that they are, and they get all pissy, especially like whatnot. And I don't agree with it because I don't think you should treat people that way. I think you should treat people the way you want to be treated. Like if I'm getting in your break, I'm also a breaker. Like I don't want to be treated like a shit or like I'm just some sort of number, or like money or whatever else, right? But the reason those guys get so antsy is because there's like no money to be made. Like if you don't have allocation, you're not making money. You're just literally doing stuff to try to get allocation to make money down the road. Like that's the promise. Like I already told you the story between Peach State and GTS. Like, well, Peach State was like I knew from the jump that I was not going to really make money. It was just a way to get product. But GTS was like promising in the sense of like they have a very laid down structure. Like it's proven. And pretty much Topps or Fanatics decided, hey, we bought Topps. We're going to punch the biggest guy in the face to show you guys, like, stop fucking with us because we'll handle it if you keep doing what we don't like. Yeah, I'm still posting the grading service with the prices tomorrow. And then I'll try to get the first set of stuff out to PSA by Sunday. We'll drop it off Monday morning because obviously I'm not going to drop it off on the weekend. Because even like the stuff I just sent out for like my own PC, I literally made sure that they scan it in. A lot of this other stuff, like all the break stuff, like my post office is very, very good. I'll drop it off. And they'll get it, like they have like a drop off bin at night that's like locked or whatever, and they'll grab it in the morning and scan it right away. But for the PSA stuff, I scan it just because I want to know that like it's already in the system. Because once it's in the system, there's no one stealing your shit. Like no one's trying to go to federal prison over some sports cards. At least I would hope not. But yeah, essentially, the grading service will be tomorrow. For sure, the price I can give you for sure is it's going to be $11. If you want to send anything down to SGC for the $9 deal, I'm going to do it for $11, just like the Boca Raton group is doing. If you have it here already, if you don't have it here already, like you can mail it to me and it'll be $12 if it's Topps Chrome and you open it yourself or whatever else. But if it's already here, I'll get up whatever by the end of the week, get them graded and whatever else. For PSA, it's probably going to be right like 20. I think it's 21.50 is what it's going to be if you have the cards here. 21.50. I have to do the exact math. If you already have the cards here, because the bulk price is $19, so it's just really to cover supplies and the shipping and the PayPal fee. So like the extra $2 per person will cover all that. And then obviously if you had it in a break here, I already planned to ship to you, so I'll just ship it with either the break stuff you have, or if you were in a break, I'll pay for the shipping to your house. So you don't have to pay shipping back from PSA. if you have cards that you didn't get in a break, it's going to probably be like $25 for me to clean in and evaluate and everything. Just because like the supplies and whatever else, and there's really no, like, I didn't benefit in the sense of like, I'm not going to double charge you. Like, you already paid for me to break the cards open. I don't need to charge you again if I already have the cards here and like whatever else. But if it's cards from somebody else, there has to be like a higher fee for there to be an incentive for you to break with me. Like, the benefit of breaking with me is you're essentially paying significantly less for grading bulk or like anything under $4.99 than if you went somewhere else. So the cards I sent to them that was mine and Gabe's is taking forever to get back, but I've heard other people say they get some of their stuff back like in 21 days or like 3 weeks or whatever else. If it's not something that you want to turn around very quickly, I always recommend PSA because it's going to have the highest resale value. And honestly, it just really depends. I think with the first submission, because I had like a brand new account when I submitted, that it actually probably, they just took a little bit longer in the sense of like, I was just new, so I maybe got pushed back to like back in the line or whatever. I don't know how they do anything at PSA, to be honest. It was received, they're in the grading process, and they've been in the grading process for like a month and a half, 2 months. But there could just be something on that like order that I sent in, and I just, like I said, just sent another order today, so we'll see. It'll probably get there in 2 days, and I'll see how that process goes. But from the Collectors Club, I heard that the bulk has going a little bit faster. I know that, and I'm gonna push. I'll be honest with you guys. I'm gonna push CGC a lot because I think CGC is gonna be the big one, and I'm gonna do those. I'm gonna do those cards at $12, which is what the bulk price is. Just straight bulk price. I'll cover all the shipping and everything. If you get in my break, if you don't get in my break, it'll be $15 a card if it's from a different break to like prep it. Because essentially what I'm doing here, hold on one second, I'll show you what I'm going to use. Because I have a bunch of kits down here. I don't know if anyone's familiar with these or not. I'm going to be running the PSA thing from forever until I don't feel like grading stuff anymore. But essentially, this is Kurt's Card Care. I don't know if people are familiar with it or not. But essentially, there's like spray and wax and polish and stuff. Obviously, this is a sealed one. But essentially, this is what I mean by like if you need your cards like shined or cleaned or prepped or whatever else. Like I'll look at them, make sure they're gradable. If there's any print lines, I'll try to get the print lines out. I'll do whatever I can to try to make sure that the card gems to get a 10. Can I promise it's going to get a 10 if it has defects in it? Not necessarily. But in general, yeah, I mean, it definitely works. It definitely will make your cards, if there's like any scuffs or anything on them. I fixed cards that would not gem if I didn't have this kit and knew how to use it, if that makes sense. I do have to get a humidor because I can fix like indents and stuff like that with a humidor. So I have to get a good humidor for like, obviously they're normally for cigars. But it's going to be one of those things where when it comes to this, or even the humidor, like people have to understand if there's problems with your card and for whatever reason Kurt's Card Care ruined your card, like I'm just not responding. Like you can't be like, hey, I want this card to 10, like at least get at the very minimum try to get a 9. If you think you can get a 9, send it. If it comes back as an 8 or whatever else, like I can be like, I think it should get a 9. If it comes back an 8, like people just can't get pissed off, which I'm sure they will anyway. So I'm ready to deal with that, but it is what it is. What I would do for the Jeter Downs is I would send it off to SGC if you want it. If you just are a fan of graded cards, like what was the Jeter Downs? It was numbered, right? Or was it just a base? I mean, it's a base Jeter Downs. I wouldn't grade the autograph because he's like wrote on his face like a dick bag, but I mean, I would grade it. If you want to have an autograph graded and you think Jeter Downs has any chance to be good at like better than he is at baseball, like you grade it for $9. Like what are you losing? Like, or $11. Well, autograph I think actually makes it 13. That's what I got to double check because I don't know if that's if you grade the autograph or if it's just an autographed card. I got to read the fine print for their He's not out of the league. I'm pretty sure he's on the Nationals right now. I think he just got called up today. I'm pretty sure. He's 129 at bats this year. Oh, he's at AAA. He's back down to AAA. My bad. Most recent game was in April. So they gave him like the beginning of the year. He didn't play well, but he's still pretty young, I think, too. I don't know how old is this guy. Oh, he's 25. I mean, maybe you shouldn't grade it, but I mean, if you wanted to grade it for $9, it's not the end of the world if you want to spend $9 or $11 to grade it. But yeah. But anyway, so that's everything. I mean, if you ever have any questions, you can ask me and I'll answer you honestly about anything when it comes to cards. Um, because I'm pretty open about it in the sense of like there's no point for me to lie about it. Like if I ever lost my account for lying, like then you just already know what kind of company Fanatics and Tops is. Like, or for being honest, I should say. So like to me, if you have a question, like I'll answer it for you. You might not like the answer or whatever else, but I mean I'll give you an honest answer. Like I never ever ever tell anybody to like if anyone ever asks me to start breaking or like what I did, I just tell them in like unless you have a lot of money to start or you have like a good job and you want to do like a side thing, you can do it. But like even the guys that are like successful in the sense of like Justin Bonita, like I don't know if you guys are familiar with Slabs the Riches or whatever, but Justin Bonita runs that group. It's mostly Bowman breaks. But like he has a really, really good job on this side. Like he wouldn't be able to get the inventory he has without having that other job. And Dustin, to grade the Paulo would probably be, I mean, I can't. We have to see how much it costs, but I'd probably put it as $4.99, and it'd be like $21 to grade. It wouldn't be anything crazy. I was gonna say we just have to make sure it's not like $1,000 card raw, because then you got to pay the $75 or whatever it is from PSA. Because if it's anything over $500 is expensive. I was gonna say. I mean, I'll send everything as bulk, and if they upcharge, they upcharge. It's just if they upcharge, like you have to pay for the upcharge. I'm not gonna like cover the upcharge for you. If that makes sense. But either way, you guys have a good night and be safe. I will see you guys tomorrow. Whether it's just this half case or that we get the pick your player filled or we get both of them filled. I'll see you all tomorrow. You guys have a good night and be safe.